There's a touch of fall in the air as we get ready for another great night of Friday night high school football on CCX. Tonight, it's Wayzata, 1-1 on the season, coming to St. Michael to take on the STMA Knights, coming in at 0-2. Hello and welcome to St. Michael-Albertville High School. John Jacobson along with Ryan Iverson. And Ryan, I don't think either of these teams wanted to be where they're at record-wise after 2 weeks, but here we are. Wayzata losing a close one last week, 14-12 at home against Champlin Park. And as I mentioned, STMA, which has had a good program for a number of years, like Wayzata, starting out 0-2.
Yeah, I know at the beginning of the year you look at this matchup and it's perennial top 5 programs in the state of Minnesota. Both teams have great tradition, great history. They've had championships in the last few years and really well coached, a lot of good athletes. So surprising coming in with the records that they have, but I think what you find too is both of these teams lost a ton of talent last year, and so it takes a little while to get new players accustomed to being, especially star players and quarterbacks, running backs. So it's going to take a little time for it to gel, but I expect to see both of these teams at the end of the year, you know, being competitive, and they're teams you don't want to play come playoff time.
Wayzata had some injuries last week, which may have contributed to that loss against Champlin Park. Definitely a younger team, as Ryan mentioned, and especially on the offensive and defensive lines. They're really kind of trying to feel their way as these players go from sophomore, maybe freshman, into a varsity role or junior varsity a year ago, and now all of a sudden they're starting on Fridays.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you think Wayzata, John, in the last few years, just dominating offensive defensive lines. They've been able to control the line of scrimmage, and when you can run like that and control that, it sets up your play action, sets up your outside plays as well. So it's getting these kids that are now juniors, some sophomores, getting them accustomed to what this feels like. This is a different environment than playing sophomore and JV, and so as they get comfortable, as they get used to it, their technique gets better, they get more confidence. That's when you're going to start to see these teams return to what we're accustomed to seeing of them.
Let's look at our key players, starting with Wayzata. Chase Ullum has been their leading tackler through 2 games, 25 tackles for him. He's a really good one. He
really is. We've called his name how many times over the last couple of years. He's one of that guys. He's got that great experience. He's got the pedigree of playing in championships. So he's all over the field, a tremendous linebacker. I know he's getting recruited to play in college, so he's extremely talented. And obviously when you play STMA, you got to stop their run, and him being a big part of that, he's going to have double figures tonight in tackles as well.
One of the guys who's going to be trying to stop tonight is their leading rusher so far, Connor Longben, who's a guy that Jared Essler likes to move around the field, a really talented athlete.
Yeah, what I like too, Coach Essler does a good job. You get your best players a chance to touch the ball, and Connor's got great speed, and you know, for his size, he's got great power. He's going to the University of Sioux Falls next year, and they rely on him in the running game, but you're going to see him catch passes, maybe returning punts and kicks. He's just a talent. He's one of those guys with the speed that every time he touches it, potential to take it to the house. And when you have an offense that's been struggling, you got to find a way to get him the football, because all it takes is one play to get that momentum, get that magic to happen, and Connor can do that for STMA.
Should be a fun one here tonight in St. Michael. It's the Trojans and the Knights, and it comes your way live next here on CCX. CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV. It's Wayzata and St. Michael-Albertville tonight. Week 3 football on CCX. Knights needing a win. We talked to Jared Essler and a couple of their other coaches. We had to get a W this week is the theme, right?
Well, you said that to them, and we said the same thing to Wayzata. Everyone needs a win. But, you know, you're right. I think both of these teams, you know, obviously lost a lot to graduation, but these are perennial championship-type programs. So 0-2 and 1-1, not where they wanted to be. And I think they both look at tonight as gettable and a must-win situation. So I think we're going to get a little bit sharper play tonight from both sides.
You look at the season, and obviously it's still early. You get to next week, you're at the midway point of the regular season, right?
It's crazy how fast the season goes, and for these kids that are seniors, how fast your senior year goes. And you know, you think about every pregame, you know, you're getting warmed up and you think, oh, this is going to last forever. It goes so fast. I always tell these kids, enjoy every minute of it. For these parents, for these, you know, fans, and they just enjoy it and make the most of it.
Jared Timlin to kick off for St. Michael-Albertville. Eli Leonard, number 3, and Tyler Milkus, number 18, back deep for Wayzata.
I think, John, I mean, every possession early in a game is important, but I think tonight, for both of these offenses, after struggling last week, you know, all week they drilled on a couple of specific things. I'm interested to see how both of these teams open up offensively and who can get those points first. I think it's going to be a really big factor tonight because both defenses are keyed up, ready to go. So it'll be interesting to see the offenses.
Timlin, deep kick, and this will carry through the end zone and the touchback. Wayzata will start 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line.
What a facility here, though, isn't it? You feel almost like you're at a small college. Just a gorgeous facility, beautiful night. Thought we might have some rain tonight, but it's holding off. A little wind out there. Temperatures dropping a little bit, but just a perfect fall weekend here in Minnesota.
Look at the starters from on both sides. Wayzata there on your left and St. Michael-Albertville on the right. Almost exactly the same school colors, so you have to look, wait, which team's blue, which team's gold, if you're looking at it, and that's the starting 11 on both sides. Cole Helbrun, play action, deep throw on 1st down, and a great breakup on the pass intended for Ford Griffith. Nicely defended by the Knights.
Yeah, Josh Segler, number 10, did a great job of staying home. I love the idea there, taking a shot, a little play action, and looking for the home run right off the bat. And Cole Helbrun, the quarterback for Wayzata, did not play last week, was battling a shoulder injury. You can see they think a lot of him. He's got a great arm.
They'll go to the ground game here and a run out to the 25-yard line on the rush by Carter Olson, the junior running back. Will set up 3rd down and 5 for the Trojans.
You know, what I like, too, is by taking that shot, John, you just soften the defense up a little bit. And, you know, Wayzata the last few years have had great playmakers on the outside. There's a look at Helbrun there. Very efficient. He only played that first game. Very, very efficient. 5 completions, 2 touchdowns.
Hand off on a 1st down, a gain out past the 35-yard line to the 37. It's Olson again. He picks up a dozen here. And 3 plays, and now a 1st down for Wayzata.
Well, a staple of Wayzata is that big offensive line. They got some new players there, still getting their bearings down there. But I'll tell you what, they're dominating up front. Really well blocked. Look at the hole there. And they're going to run and pound that. They're going to force you to stop that. And then they can take the chances on the perimeter.
Give to Olson again, and this time the Knights hold on that defensive front. Stop Olson for maybe a gain of 1. Last one off the pile for the Knights was Colin Underwood, senior linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker. And you want to be able to defend that, John, without having to bring your safeties or your cornerbacks up into the box there. If your front 7 can take care of the run, it's such an advantage.
2nd and 10, they give to Olson again. He's got a hole up the middle, and he'll bring it out to near midfield. It's another 1st down for Wayzata. Gain of a dozen yards.
And again, watch the size of the hole here. Nothing tricky there. Great kick-out block. And I'll tell you, you know your offensive line has won that matchup when there's not contact until 7-8 yards down the field. Really well executed up front.
Play action, Helbrun. Watched right, throws, and incomplete. Again, trying to hit Griffith, same intended receiver as play number 1 of the game. He's over 2 passing, and it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and I thought he kind of rushed that throw. It was there. It was open. He also had his tight end, Charlie Tomsek, in the flat for an easier throw. It's not easy when you're on the run like that. And sometimes early on, especially with still a young quarterback, I like to take those easy throws, get a little rhythm and a little confidence going.
Ryan mentioned Cole didn't play last week. They were down to their 3rd-string quarterback in that game against the Rebels. Helbrun back and healthy. Nice little jump inside by Olsen on that run, and he picks up 7 yards, setting up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, really subtle there. Did you see his cutback, John? Everything going to the right. He had 2 really nice cutbacks, one right at the line of scrimmage and then a second one. And that's what you need your running backs to do. They got to make guys miss. Got to have good vision, good patience. Really nicely done by Olsen. And now you set up that 3rd and manageable, right? That 3rd and short. Much better down in distance if you can win 1st and 2nd down.
They throw over the middle, throw a little bit low and incomplete, intended for Tomczyk. Again, the Knights right there defensively too, and Caden Johnson in on the coverage. It's 4th and 3. Looks like they will go for it here from the 43.
Yep, and play action, that's tough. Nice job by Caden Johnson, the strong safety there. Trying to, when they do that play action, trying to get that secondary to come up, defend the run, and hope he can open up someone in the seam. Really nicely defended there.
4th and 3, first possession of the game. They give to Olsen, he stops. He did not even get to the line of scrimmage, and the Knights hold.
Big time stop there by the Knights.
Devin Damer made contact, and he had a lot of help in a hurry. Look at it again.
Yeah, he did. You can see nothing fancy again. Same thing. Great job coming right off of the edge there. And Damer unblocked, did a nice job of just coming down the line, and great form tackle there. No extra yards. Big time stop by the Knights defense.
So the Knights hold, and they take over from their 43-yard line. Handoff and a gain out to the 47, a pickup of 4.
You take a look at the starters there for both teams, and what you're going to find is a similar offense, right? They're going to try to pound the ball. They want to establish that line of scrimmage. Both these teams, historically, John, have been great at running the football, controlling the ball, but they use their running game to set up play action. And quarterback for St. Michael-Albertville is Colton Damaris. He's got a great arm, strong arm, and they really feel like if they have to get into a throwing game, they can do that.
On 2nd down, they give to Longvin. Kadia had carried the ball on 1st down. He got to near midfield, then pushed back, but they're going to mark him at the 50 with forward progress. It'll set up 3rd and a 3 for STMA.
And again, just getting positive yards, setting up that 3rd and manageable situation. See Colton Damaris, very good accuracy. He's over 62%. 3 touchdowns, some explosive plays. He's got a strong arm, good size as well.
It's Longvin on the carry, and he's going to push forward to near the 46 and pick up a 1st down. Tackle made by Nelson Gukowski.
Yeah, a little power I formation there. You can see unbalanced. Look how many blockers on the left side of the line of scrimmage. We're just going to outnumber you and hope our guys win that matchup. You got a good push. Gain of about 3.5, 4 yards, just enough for that 1st down.
Damaris under center on 1st and 10 from the Wayzata 47. Wants to throw. Quick throw out to the right, low, but does get the completion down to the 42. And a pickup of 5 on the throw to Alice Winkevich.
Yeah, and again, I love that. First pass of the game, an easy 3-step drop. Quarterback knows right where he's going to go with the football. Easy throw and catch. He threw it low and away, and I'm okay with that because if your receiver's not going to catch it, no one else is going to catch it. So being very smart with the football.
2nd and 5. And the give and good penetration into the backfield by Wayzata there as they're able to drop Ryan Kadia for a loss. Keandre Watkins, number 10, first one to make contact.
Watkins cleaned it up, but Noah Ricklick, number 8, came in there unblocked, did a great job of just holding them up. A good team defense there. Everyone's circling them and bringing them back. And these are the kind of down and distances that Wayzata, Coach Brown talked about. We got to put their offense in 3rd and long.
They lost one on that one, and again, it's Wayzata making penetration. Kukowski and Ullum on the tackle, and another loss by Cadilla in the backfield. Lost another yard.
And again, you're going to see unblocked. Great job. Nice form tackle. And Kukowski there just got off his blocker literally in the backfield. Just nowhere to go.
So STMA with 1 first down on their opening drive, but now 3 plays and off to punt. Ashton Groves in to kick it away. My kick will be fair caught at the 17-yard line by Zach Boutwell.
Those are, John, one of the scariest plays in football. Even when you fair catch and you're running forward and you're peripheral, you're seeing guys, everyone's running down the field, looking at you, coming at you. That is not an easy catch.
Coach Lambert Brown, 6th year as head coach at Wayzata. Won 8 games a year ago. Bounced in the first round of the playoffs unexpectedly, at least to the Trojans.
Yep.
And I think to a lot of people. But a little younger team, as we mentioned, this year, but certainly still some talent. So they start this drive inside their own 20.
Nice play.
And carrying a tackler is Dion Lovelace. And he gets 3 yards, his first carry tonight.
Yeah, nice play there by Jackson Brucker, number 54, coming up. And that's a big running back to bring down. Brucker did a nice job of staying low and still able to get some positive yards. But, you know, talking to Coach Brown and having young guys, sometimes coaches love these, right? Because you really get to teach in these kind of years when you got younger players. There's a nice pitch and catch for a first down.
Helbring gets his first completion tonight as he throws to Griffith, and it's a completion out to the 35-yard line and a pickup of 16 yards.
Yep, nice and easy, and you can see everything's out of that play action, and even that little ball fake there, you get that linebacker to take 1 step forward, and it opens up a great passing lane. Easy throw, easy catch. Griffith, nice job hanging on to it.
Play action fake, completion. First down into STMA territory. It's Griffith again. Back-to-back plays to go to the senior wide receiver. 15 yards and now 17 here.
Well, and I like doing it on first down because I think STMA is expecting run. And again, that play action, it bites the linebackers just a second. And an easy lane right down the middle. Nice timing, nice delivery.
From the 48. Holman throw a little bit high and incomplete. Catchable ball, but through the hands of Milkus, the intended receiver. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it looked like Hilbert that time hesitated, almost double plumped. Wasn't sure if he was trying to fake that and maybe look down the field, but ball a little bit ahead of him. That's a tough one as a receiver when you know you're going to get hit. You have a tendency to just lift your head up just a little bit.
Elbron sails this one, and it's intercepted. Lucas Saltamacchia with the interception for STMA. And Wayzata has turned it over.
Well, first great catch, dive and catch. It almost looked like maybe quarterback receiver not on the same page here. You can tell low play action. And I don't know if he was expecting maybe his receiver to come more further into the middle. It almost looked like the receiver stopped, almost like it was a hitch instead of that slant. Opportunistic defense. First interception of the year for the Knights defense, and turnovers always such a big part of every game.
El Saltamacchio gives STMA the ball back. They'll start from their 39. Damaris wanting to throw. He's pressured and down he goes. Sacked back at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, they were setting up for Alex Swankevich there, going deep on the right side, but that pocket collapsed, nowhere to go. That's where I think you got to get a little bit more depth on that drop. If you're back a couple more yards, then you can step into it. When you're only 3 yards back, John, you go to step in, you're going to be right by the line of scrimmage, and that pocket just collapsed too quickly for him.
Noah Richlick and Dylan Schultz in on that sack. 2nd down and 13. Damaris has time to throw. Now runs out of the pocket over the middle and is dropped. Brody Odlin, the intended receiver, unable to hang on to it. It's 3rd and long.
That time, really nice job by the Wayzata defense. Nothing there initially. They took that away. And Demers did a great job. You noticed when he was rolling right, his eyes down the field, delivered a ball, maybe a little bit behind him, but one that you got to have. And now these predictable down and distances, John, these are the tough ones when you're struggling offensively, right? Those 3rd and long, the defense knows you're probably going to pass. They can really pin their ears down. Got to be careful here.
Big rush up the middle, and down he goes. The blitz and the sack. Joe Hotkovic with the sack back at the 27-yard line.
You can see they bring a blitz.
56, sorry, not 55. Will Ronning on the sack.
Well, you can see STMA up front just got confused there, unblocked. Ronning came in, brought some extra pressure, and just no time for Demers to get rid of it.
Kick will take a big bounce, but be fielded by Boutwell back at the 26. And he'll get a return out to the 44-yard line.
So after that interception, pretty much right back where they were when the interception happened. So a nice job. Complimentary football, John. You throw an interception, your defense comes right back, gets a couple of sacks, gets the ball right back with good field position for the offense.
A good defense so far, right, for Wayzata, that allowed the 1 first down after the loss on downs, and then they turn the ball over, the offense does, but they get right back after 3 plays. And then the big sack by Ronning on 3rd down. This series starts with a run, a short one across the 45 to the 47. Olsen back in the backfield. It was Loveless on the last series, and Olsen back in, and already his 7th carry of the first down, although this one, the first quarter, this one only gains a yard.
Yeah, nice job by 92 Roman Lindenfelser that time getting up the field, forcing Olsen to cut back, nowhere to go.
2nd and 9. Head off to Olsen again, picking a hole. He's into STMA territory to the 45. Looks like he's got a first down.
And that time blocked a little bit differently. You can see some extra bodies. You got someone pulling and kicking out the defensive end. You can see you bring a tight end from the weak side, number 85, Tomzig, and he kicks out that defensive end, adding that extra body over there. You get 4 blockers on 3 defenders, and a nice job, patient run by Olsen too.
Zach Purcell and Caden Johnson on the tackle as they give it to Olsen again. Spins inside the 40, down to the 39, and he'll pick up 6.
Well, the Knights are getting penetration, John, into the backfield. Olsen, a couple of crafty moves, and they don't look like much, but he's very shifty, able to just kind of cut a step to the left and then keeps those legs moving, and you take what could be potentially a 1-yard loss, you turn it into 6 yards.
2nd down and 4. Winding down to just over a minute to play in a fast-moving first quarter. Helbrin throwing, completion as Griffith again's got a first down to the 32-yard line.
Well, I just love that quick hitch, a little play action. You can tell the rhythm that's being developed between these two. But I'll tell you what else is impressive is the arm strength, because that was pretty well defended by Sigler there, number 10. You had to have a little bit of oomph on that ball, and it got there in a hurry. And just a nice balance right now on offense for Wayzata.
Griffith, 3 receptions for 39 yards. First down and 10. Play action is fake to Olsen, throw, and it's Griffith again, 25-yard line, brought it down to the 24 before he's brought down by Saltamacchia. Another pickup, good chunk on through the air. This one gets 9.
Well, a little bit of different route here. That time they sent Milkus, into the center of the field, and they flared Griffith out wide. You can see it allowed about 10 yards of space between the defender and Griffith there. So all he had to do was catch it, turn it upfield. Nice 9-yard gain on first down.
2nd down and 1 from the 24-yard line. This is Olsen. He's got a first down and more. 20, and run out of bounds at the 15. Picking up yards and chunks 9 more on that play.
Yep, nice job up front on the right side of the line of scrimmage. I want you to see big number 74, Derek Christensen right there. Just does a great job of not only getting good position, but holding that block. And again, no contact till he's a good 5-6 yards down the field. That's when you know that O-line doing what they're supposed to be.
From the 15s, Olsen's hitting the backfield and dropped. Maybe got to the line of scrimmage, but that was it. Jackson Brutker initial contact, and Underwood finishes him off.
Yeah, great tackle by Underwood. He's a nice looking linebacker. He just looks like a linebacker. You know how you see certain players, you're like, that's a linebacker? And Underwood certainly looks like that. That was some good contact right there.
Looks like Wayzata will watch the play clock run, or the game clock run down to 0. And we are at the end of the first quarter of play. No score, but Wayzata on the move. We played 1 quarter in St. Michael. Wayzata nothing, STMA nothing. More football in CCX after this.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Start of the second quarter, Wayzata and St. Michael-Albertville, no score. STMA ran just 9 offensive plays in that first quarter, Ryan, and Wayzata 21.
Well, not only that, but just time of possession, too, and that's something to keep an eye on. You know, defensive lines, as good as STMA's defensive line is and has been, I'll tell you what, it wears you down. Number of plays, it's still warm, right? So all that plays a role. You got to get your defense off the field there, and there's a look at the coaching staff there for STMA. Coach Essler in his 12th year. There he is. You can see him on the left of your screen there. Done a heck of a job building this program. They are a perennial state power.
First play of the second quarter, and the run has been pretty successful. Olsen with the carry. It wasn't much on the first down play, but he gets about 6 here, Ryan, and now you get a third down and manageable.
And keep in mind, too, Wayzata's got an outstanding kicker who is pretty much got a leg. He can kick it from 50 and in. So this will be interesting to see if they don't get the first, what they end up doing here.
Elbrun wants to throw, gets the completion, and it's going to be a first down to the 5-yard line. Milkus on the reception, and it's 1st and goal for Wayzata.
It didn't look like he had anywhere to go. He did a great job of just kind of shedding that initial contact and keeping those legs moving and able to lunge forward. What a big-time play to pick up that first down.
8th first down of the game for Wayzata, just one for the night so far.
When you're talking now up to 23 plays, and of those 23, great job balancing it between football or between running.
Ball tipped, almost intercepted. Sorry, Ryan.
No. Those are dangerous, right? Seattle Seahawks fans remember those kind of plays, those throws in the middle of the field by the goal line. And a nice job. Hey, I love that. If you're bringing pressure at the quarterback, you see Zach Purcell there, number 24. If you're not going to be able to get home, get those hands up, try to get a tip. And he did a nice job tipping that almost for a big play and another interception for this defense.
2nd and goal from the 5. Give to Olsen, and Purcell is in the middle of the play again. They stop him for no gain, maybe a yard. Tyson Hench is also there, 62.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing too is the quarterback keeper would be there for Wayzata, John. Cole Hilbrun, hasn't kept it yet, isn't known as a runner, but that defense is doing a nice job of collapsing to shut that run down. A quarterback keeper might be available to them down the road.
Leonard and Griffith, top of your screen. Oh, and a lot of movement. This is going to go against Wayzata. We'll have our first penalty of the game.
Yeah, really clean game so far.
So the false start will push Wayzata back to around the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal from there.
That's one of those when you have multiple people moving, it's usually on the center. Sometimes not the worst, though, when you back up a little bit. Now you got a little bit more field to work with.
Helbrun throws to the end zone, and traffic ball is tipped and then intercepted. I thought it was going to be caught, and instead picked off by Brutker.
What a play. I was about to say what a throw, because there was not much space there. And a nice hard throw. It looked like an accurate throw, and just in his hands, and then a little bit of contact bobbled it, and just a great play by Brutker there to go get it. Second interception of the game. What a stand here by the Knights defense. Yeah, great throw there. Play action right up the middle.
Yeah, I thought Tomczyk was going to have it, but then he got pushed off the ball by Logan Jans, and then Brutker is right there for the pick.
Well, watch Caden Johnson here, number 13. You never quit on a play. He keeps his hands in there, and he's the one that gets it free. That's a big play.
First play of this series, a rushing play out to the 25-yard line. It's Cadillo with his 3rd carry tonight.
Yeah, screenplay on that one. That was a really well set up, and that's what you got to do. You got to mix, different types of plays like that when you got an aggressive defensive front. They're coming at you. Use that pass rush against them. Let them come get you. Easy to dump it off. Nice little time screen there.
Just their 2nd completion in 4 attempts tonight. Back to the air again. Completion and a first down. And there's our guy we talked about in the pregame, Connor Longbin, getting his first touch on a reception tonight. For the season, his 9th catch of the year.
Yeah, really dual threat. He can run and he can catch. He's just good speed. But more importantly, I like the easy throws for Damaris. Try to get a little bit of a rhythm there, and so far so good. 2 in a row. You build your confidence. Now some of those tougher throws, longer throws, you're in a good rhythm.
Gain of 12 out to the 37. And a run out to the 40-yard line. This will pick up 3 yards.
Well, and what it does too, John, is it just softens that defense up a little bit. You don't have to throw all the time. You don't have to necessarily even take shots down the field. You just have to have the threat of being able to pass. And what it does is it just stretches the defense out. It forces them to cover the whole field, and all of a sudden now running lanes up the middle, a little bit more open, a little bit more space.
Sam Anderson gaining 3 yards on first down, 2nd and 7. And the toss. And a gain only out to the 41. Wayzata able to read that and make the stop. And a pickup of just 1. That'll be 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, and that time a little toss sweep. Nice job by Wayzata there, just setting that edge. Not allowing Roos to get to the outside. Cuts back. Great team defense.
It's a good look at number 10, Keandre Watkins. Good sized defensive lineman. They really like his play.
I would not want to get tackled by him anymore.
Third and 6. Damaris short drop, completion, first down. Out to midfield and into Wayzata territory at the 49. Ola making the tackle, but the catch made by Swinkiewicz. And a pickup of 10 yards.
Yep, great route here. What they did is they ran Connor Longvan down the field, and it kind of softened up that defense, allowed that little lane right there by Swinkiewicz there. Nice, again, 3-step drop, accurate throw. And the quarterback starts playing with a little bit more confidence. He's got a very capable arm. Like the rhythm that they're in.
And a completion inside the 35. It'll pick up 15, 16 yards. They go right back to Swinkiewicz, and an accurate throw again by Damaris. He's now 5 of 6 passing.
Well, that time, watch him plant on this back foot. You see that weight going back? Anytime a quarterback can have a clean pocket, and Cole Damaris is this big, strong kid. He gets that back foot into the ground. You see him drive that ball. Again, really accurate, and a nice route, too. That time a little bit deeper slant, a little deep cross there, and able to drive the defender back. A nice catch and throw.
3 first downs on this drive, all through the air. Gain of 16 on that play. From the Wayzata 34, play action. Damaris back to the air. Another completion. Boutwell able to drive Longvin out of bounds. He got about 9.5.
Yeah, and these are just nice timing routes. 3-step drops. Damaris knows exactly where his receivers are going to be, and Connor Longvin. Again, the key is getting off the ball, making that defensive back think you might be driving down the field. You plant, you come back, easy catch and throw, 9 yards on first down. That's a win every time.
Knights switch some personnel up on 2nd down and short. This drive started back at the STMA 20, now at the Wayzata 25. Longvin trying to go inside, ran into his own line, and then a lot of white jerseys pushed him back for a loss.
Well, you get the pre-snap motion coming back with a counter on the weak side. Great play idea, but that time great push by the Trojan interior defensive lineman. And as soon as Longvin had the ball, just nowhere to go, had to spin just to avoid contact. So definitely not what you wanted there on 3rd and a yard.
Richlick and Kukowski on the tackle. Now 3rd and 3 after the 2nd down and 1. Quick snap count, and Longvin will get the first down. He'll run to the 24, pick up a 4.
Yeah, and I like the Knights, I think, got up there, and Wayzata not quite set defensively. And they had the advantage there to the left side. They've been really going left a lot on this drive. And no one there to kind of set that edge.
Damaris getting his team up to the line again. Quick toss, Longvin, right side. Longvin to the 10-yard line, still on his feet, and falls down inside the 5. Andrew Nelson finally making the tackle, but not until a gain of 19 yards.
Yeah, there's the speed that we talked about. Here's that unbalanced set, which means they have an extra blocker over on the right side. And pretty well defended there. That was just great speed by Longvin. Got to the outside. And again, just a great rhythm offensively right now for the Knights.
1st and goal from the 4. Full house backfield behind Damaris. And they give to Anderson driving toward the goal line, but he's going to be turned sideways and only get to the 2-yard line. 2nd and goal from there, maybe closer to the 1.
Yeah, it looked like he had an opening there, didn't it, John,
yes,
to get in there. Nice job closing that down by the Trojans and keeping him out.
Nice looking drive here for the Knights.
Yeah, completely different this drive than they were that entire first quarter. Very confident, nice rhythm.
Longvin, the carries in for the touchdown. And STMA on the board first.
That's a big-time drive and a nice mixture of passing and running the football. And I thought really the rushing game set up because they were effective early in that drive, hitting a number of nice rhythm throws. That time running behind the right side. Great lead block there by Lindenfelser, too. And Longvin gets his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year, 4th overall.
Yes, do you mean look like they've got all the right personnel out there? They might have to burn a timeout here. Yeah. Yep. Jared Hessler's like, no.
Yeah, it looks like they were going to go for 2 here.
Let's see if that changes their mind after the timeout here. We'll look at the run again.
Again, you just see really nice job by those blue horses up front, getting a good push. Down block, couple kick out blocks, and Longvan getting good speed, but he can run with a little bit of power there. You can see the night student section fired up. That's what they want to see. Yeah, you know, last week only 6 points in the loss against Centennial. So coming out tonight, 7 points, or 6 points here, but just a big-time drive.
You saw Sean, you talked about the blocking. Sean Script, the guard, turned his guy inside, and then Longman was able to run on that backside and get in.
Well, and that's a scheme that a lot of linemen really like, because you get the down block, so you kind of get a free shot on the interior defensive lineman, and then sometimes they'll have a center or guard pull and kick out. That time they had a fullback with the kick out, so it's a fun blocking scheme to do, and you can see it can be very effective. You got to have a back that can really hit that hole hard, and Longvan certainly did. Seems like we're still having some personnel.
Right, we still got a guy coming on late.
Yeah.
But they are going to definitely go for two here. Cadilla is the back behind Damaris. Longman comes in motion. It looks like they're going to throw over the middle. It's broken up, incomplete. Nicely played by Alex Hart, senior defensive back, to break that up, and it remains 6-0.
Yeah, tricky play to defend too. They had Longvan going out to the flat, and I think what the hope is that the defense is going to flow to the outside. You try to hit this slant coming in. That's great pass defense right there. Doing it without pass interference too, just getting that top arm in before the ball delivered. That could be critical. That's something you got to keep an eye on, not getting the extra point.
Nice defense. Ryan gets a nice rest there after being on the field a lot in the first quarter plus. They get the interception in the end zone, and then their offense takes it down 80 yards and puts up 6 points.
Yeah, I was going to say, think about this. 5 minutes ago, it looked like Wayzata was about to score first and got the tip ball and the interception, their second of the game, and great complementary football. Your defense makes a big play. Offense can come in and have a drive, sustain a drive like that. That's huge.
A little pooch kick. It's going to be fair caught back at the 29-yard line. That's where Wayzata will take it. It's Carter Olson. Takes it. Tyler Schumann on the kick. I don't know, but if we had an injury at all to Jared Timlin, he's the regular kicker, and he had the kickoff to start the game. Maybe that's why they went for two there, and he wasn't there to kick off either. And he had that touchback to start the game. It's Wayzata taking. They'll actually mark it at the 30. Trying to bounce back from the turnover on the last drive. A good run up the middle. It's Loveless, and he's going to get out past the 40 to the 41-yard line and pick up 11 yards on first down in his second carry tonight.
Yeah, nice cutback too. Good size, 6 foot, almost 200 pounds. He's been their leading rusher coming into the game. And you can see why. Nice cutback, and again, good power. Able to take contact and keep those legs moving.
Trojans with the ball at their 41. Quick throw over the middle, and it's Griffith. And he's into the open to the 30-yard line. All the way down to the 20 and inside the 15-yard line before he's tackled.
Again, a play that we've seen multiple times here tonight. Play action. Linebackers, all it takes is that one step to come forward, and then watch the seam here. And a nice little different angle on that throw, almost a sidearm throw. And Griffith has been his favorite target here tonight. Takes it for a huge gain.
Gain of 45 yards. Back to Loveless, and he's inside the 10-yard line before he's tackled by Rutger.
How about this answer by Wayzata, huh? 3 plays. In within the 10 here.
Loveless getting 7 on that first down run. And Wayzata will use a timeout here with 3:15 to play in the first half. 6-0 STMA. And Wayzata in the red zone again for the second consecutive possession.
Did you see Cole Hilbrand on the throw where he released that ball from? Almost like it came sideways like that. And it's sometimes you can get some good zip on it, but you talk about trust, knowing where your receiver, he's thrown to a spot. You got to really have confidence in your receiver to get to that spot. And you can see the rhythm and the chemistry between Griffith and Hilbrand.
STMA, as we mentioned, coming in 0-2, lost at Forest Lake and at Centennial. So this is their first home game of the season here tonight. Wayzata opening with a win at Roseville in week 1, and then the loss we've talked about against Champlain Park last week. And they'll be back home next week to take on Tocino Grace. STMA will be at Blaine next Friday. Game time temperature next Friday is supposed to be around 60 degrees, Ryan. I don't really feel like fall.
I'll tell you that.
That's all right.
The first game we did, the Osseo Maple Grove this year.
Way too hot.
Oh, it was about 90 at halftime. It just didn't feel right. This is starting to feel a little bit more like football, right? That fall feeling. Nice tackles.
Loveless stopped and driven back for no gain.
Nice job by 24, Zach Purcell there coming through. And you're tackling a big guy like that. If you can't bring him down, you hold on, you stay low, and teammates coming up. Nice team tackling there.
3rd down and 3 from about the 7-yard line. Helbren will give. It's Olsen breaking a tackle and did a lot just to get a yard there. Fourth down. What
an effort just to get close to the first down. I thought he was going to watch the contact right there. 2-3 guys had a shot at him in the backfield.
Go for it on 4th down. The give to Olsen.
That second effort might have got it. Yep, he got it where they're going to mark it. He got stopped, John, and then you see that second effort. He kind of jumped, came down, and then re-emerged again. Pyle moved forward for the first down. Watch the second effort. He almost leaps right there. I don't think he had it, but there you see he comes down. He keeps those legs moving. Gosh, you love that as a running backs coach. You talk all the time. Keep those legs moving, churning. Second effort gets the first down.
Almost a stop for STMA. Instead, it's 1st and goal for Wayzata. Olsen into the end zone for a touchdown. And it's 6-6.
That's exactly the kind of answer Coach Brown, I'm sure, told his offense we need to have. Remember, they've had success tonight. They've moved the football. 2 interceptions, really killing their drives. That time, a couple of big chunk plays, one through the air to Ford Griffith. Some nice running by Lovelace, and that time Carter Olsen finishing it off. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the year.
Nate Stevie, the extra point, the line driver in that case, through the uprights, put it in, and it's 7-6.
Yeah, it looked like the hold barely got it down. And here, just a nice job up front. Great blocking up front by the big guys. You saw Charlie Smith, number 66 up there. Big number 74, Derek Christensen, doing a nice job moving that pile. Manny Wilson, good size up front. Wayzata always has really good size and physicality up front, defensively and offensively.
Manny Wilson, the one returner they did have back from last year.
Stevie to kick off for the Trojans. And the kickoff is very clear to 29 and Nathan Senior.
Stevie gets a strong leg into it, and it's a touchback. And so with 2:03 to go in the half, STMA down a point. We'll have it at their 20. They showed the ability, Ryan, on that last drive to move it through the air, so they don't have to be just sticking to the run, right?
Well, not only showed the ability, I actually thought they looked better when they started out that drive through the air. I think it got Wayzata, off of the line of scrimmage allowed them to be able to run the football too. So I think balance is the key. And Damaris showed he's got the arm. It's going to be a pass, or excuse me, a run up the middle.
And the first down run for Kedia. His fifth carry tonight. Also has one pass reception.
Yeah, interesting to see if STMA tries to take a shot maybe down the field. Just under 2 minutes. Certainly plenty of time, but you also don't want to have a mistake or a turnover and give Wayzata the football on a short field. But interesting to see how aggressive they decide to be on this drive.
Second down and 6, down under a minute and a half to play now in the first half. Damaris throws, gets a completion, 35-yard line out to the 37-yard line. That'll move the sticks. Swinkiewicz with his 4th catch of the half.
Yeah, they really like that left side. Remember, clock stops in high school football just to get the chains moving. I'm surprised Swinkiewicz didn't try to get out of bounds there.
Picks up 13 yards.
Yeah, and those rhythm throws right tonight have been really successful. Quick 3-step drop and good timing between these guys.
Now under a minute to play as they snap it. Damaris throwing and another completion. It's Swinkiewicz again, picks up 10. First down. STMA, they near midfield, make it 11 yards.
Yeah, and that play was really well defended. Alex Hart in great position, had his arm in there too. Just a nice, tough catch.
At the 48-yard line. Wind down to 40 seconds to go. Goes to the right side this time. Completion and an nice open field tackle by Nelson. Andrew Nelson comes up and makes the tackle. Jordan Holm was the receiver, but no gain. STMA will take timeout. And we're down to 34 seconds to play in the first half. Ryan Iverson is headed down. He's going to interview each of our coaches here at halftime. Friday night for football here in Minnesota. STMA, good crowd, their first home game of the season. Look at the score here before halftime. They got one timeout remaining.
1, 2, 3.
Actually picked up 3 yards on that first down pass. So it's second down and 7, just into Wayzata territory. Second down and 7, 34 seconds to play in the half. Damaris will give to Loveless, and then Ullum is going to wrap him up and drop him.
He's tackling number 51, Chase Ullum. Number 55, Joe Ottavik.
Ottavik also on the stop clock, continuing to run now on third down. Damaris throwing, completion. Did he get the first down marker? Yes, he did. And a first down. See if they clock it here. Under 12 seconds to go. They want to try to save their timeout if they can. And they do get the clock stopped. 10 seconds to play. Ninth first down of the half for STMA. They've all come, 8 of them rather, have come here in this quarter. Second down and 10, ball at the Wayzata 41. Whistle. And a flag down, it's a false start on STMA. Their first penalty tonight. Each team now with 1 penalty for 5 yards. And so the Knights move back to the 46. And reset the game clock to 9.6 seconds, which is where it was before that play. On 2nd and long now for the Knights. Damaris stepping back from the line. Getting his personnel in the right spot. Back under center. Wants to throw. He'll go deep down the right sideline and incomplete. Wasn't really much of a chance for a catch there. Swinkevich well covered by Nelson. Out of bounds, and a chance for probably one throw toward the end zone here to end it, or one play anyway. 4.7 seconds on the clock. So whatever you've got in your playbook for a 46-yard play, you dial it up here. Cadillo will be in the backfield behind Damaris. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Should be the last play of the half. Damaris steps into his throw down the right sideline, gets the completion and a touchdown. How about that? Brody Odland, as the half expires, catches a 46-yard touchdown pass, and STMA is in the lead. Odland broke free of the defender and comes up with his 5th catch of the season, his first touchdown. And the Knights will go for 2. They'll give to Longvin in for the 2-point conversion. Zeros on the scoreboard, and STMA with a lot of momentum going into the break, leading 14-7 over Wayzata. Let's look at that touchdown play again. Maris on the run, then floats a pass, and Odland had gotten by the defender and keeps his balance and gets into the end zone for the score. How about that? 46 yards. And the 2-point conversion making it 14-7. St. Michael-Albertville at halftime. STMA slow starting offensively, but picked it up with those last 2 drives. Both covering 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Coach Iverson waiting for Jared Essler to come on over. He's making his way down toward Brian now. All right, let's go down to Ryan now and Jared Essler.
Coach, you guys score, they answer right back. How big was that score there right before halftime?
Well, we're fortunate. Looked like a coverage bust, but we'll take it. You know, I tell you one thing, our quarterback's playing great right now. He's going in the right spot with the ball. He's accurate, and he bought a little bit of time there and made a great throw. So really proud of Colton and his development.
Yeah, and I really thought offensively when you guys started to throw it is when you started to see that success. How important is balance offensively for you guys?
Yeah, hopefully the passing game can start to open up the run game, because we got to run it a little bit better in the second half, but we're playing balanced football right now and keeping them honest, and hopefully we can hit a few big runs.
Lastly, defense giving up some yards, but a couple of big turnovers there. Is that kind of the mantra, big plays? Is that what's kept you in this one on defense?
You know, turnovers, right? Number 1 statistic, winning and losing games at any level of football, and we're fortunate right now. We've been protecting the ball on offense and taking it away on defense. That's a good recipe.
Hey, before I let you go, take a look around. Does this not feel like you're in a college stadium?
Yeah.
Great support. How fun is this on a great Friday night?
We're fortunate. We got the best fans around. We got a great stadium, great support, and it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Good luck in the second half. Thanks. Back to you, John.
Yes, teammate dash line out. At halftime here with their Knights up on the Wayzata Trojans. 14-7 our score. More prep football on CCX right after this.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over.
Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How is it? Is it good?
What if you could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks? At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you. Get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
My kids put skis on as they were learning to walk. I want my kids to be able to have those moments with their kids. Being a scientist, I'm worried about climate change in so many different ways for my kids. From the second you have a child, you want to do everything to protect them. I think our action on climate change is no different. It's just an extension of being a mom.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. 'Cause when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV. St. Michael-Albertville 14, Wayzata 7. Halftime of high school football game as a lot of youth players being introduced out on the field. Fun for those guys, Ryan, as they get to run out on the field. And they're showing good hustle, right? From one sideline to the other.
Great speed. I'll tell you what, the nerve-wracking part, you don't want to trip when you're making that full speed. That's their time to shine. That's awesome. We love to see it.
Let's look at highlights from the first 24 minutes tonight here at STMA, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, that first quarter, Wayzata, I thought, really dominated, number of plays. There was a great stop there on 4th down. That was the thing. STMA got that stop, and they also got an interception.
Ford Griffiths has been the favorite target for Cole Helbrun tonight. He's been on the receiving end of 5 of the 6 passes he's thrown. There's the interception by Saltamacchia that stopped another drive. Good rushing in the first half for Olsen. He had 16 rushes for 73 yards. And then there's the interception in the end zone. Yep. Good defense.
I think you and I both thought it was a touchdown. It looked like it should have been caught, but stayed with it. And then right off of that was the best drive. Well, 2 good drives to end the half, but that was a great sustained drive by the Knights.
After the Connor Longbin, or rather Jackson Brutker interception, then you saw the long run by Longbin, then the touchdown. Get STMA on the board, the 2-point conversion failing, and it was 6-0. Wayzata able to come back, and again, Griffith, this was a big play, 45 yards.
Yep, that set up the touchdown. Again, Griffith's been his main target. Nice rhythm. Here's a look at that was the 4th down and short. That was just a great second effort, and that set up the touchdown run.
Carter Olsen going in on his 16th rush.
Of course, John, whenever I go down to interview at halftime, that's when the magic always happens.
Here's what you missed. Hodlin getting wide open, gets behind the defender, and Damaris floats it out there perfectly for the touchdown.
Well, that's one of those where you're like, there's a nice little counter on the 2-point conversion, but how do you let someone get behind you right at the end of the half? You can tackle anyone in front of you. You can't let someone get behind you. But a nice play by Damaris rolling out, buying time, and then a great strike.
Let's look at the numbers. Wayzata 93 rushing yards, 40 for STMA. STMA picks up 120 passing yards, 46 on that last play of the half. Total yards pretty close. Wayzata, it seemed like they were dominating for a lot of the half, but STMA with 2 strong drives on their last 2 series to get a couple of touchdowns. First downs 11-9, and just 1 penalty aside. The 2 turnovers, though, hurting Wayzata. STMA able to capitalize on the first one and turn it into 6 points. Halftime score, it's the Knights 14, the Trojans 7. More prep football on the football night here at St. Michael-Albertville after this.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
As a scientist, I know by the time she takes her first breath, 9 billion more tons of carbon pollution will be in the air. When she takes her first steps, wildfires will have burned millions more acres she could have explored. By the time a child born today goes to college, it may be too late to leave them the world we promised. Our window to act on climate change is like watching them grow up. We blink and we miss it.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Thank you.
A place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
I'm a first-generation Filipino American. You don't always feel you're a part of the country you live in. It's this weird middle space sometimes that you have to live inside of. But when you meet others that are also living in that space, you'll learn to know that that is its own unique space too.
What do an aerospace engineer, cancer immunologist, and bat scientist all have in common? We all have cool jobs in STEM fields. Whether it's building robots or learning to code, girls everywhere are finding their passion for science, technology, engineering, and math through positive role models and mentors. So dare to dive in, get connected, and explore. You never know what your future may hold. Learn more about these and even more cool jobs at shecanstem.com.
Wayzata Trojans are back on the field. They trail 14-7 at halftime. Let's go back down. Ryan standing by with Lambert Brown.
Even first half there. I know obviously you don't like to see the touchdown at the end of the half. What was halftime like?
You know, we just talked about we just got to calm down and execute. You know, when we're executing, we feel like we're moving the ball, we're doing some good things, and there's breakdowns to this game execution, and we know it's going to be two good teams. And so right now we got to really execute in the red zone. We got to continue to put some drives together, and then we got to find some ways to get off the field.
Anything different in the second half?
We just got to go fight. All right. We got to go fight.
Awesome. Good luck. Thanks, Coach. All right, back to you, JJ.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Thanks for both coaches for taking a few moments with us. 3 minutes back up on the scoreboard. So we'll take one more break, and then we'll be ready to kick it off in the second half. Knights Trojans football live on CCX.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter which you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
As a scientist, I know by the time she takes her first breath, 9 billion more tons of carbon pollution will be in the air. When she takes her first steps, wildfires will have burned millions more acres she could have explored. By the time a child born today goes to college, it may be too late to leave them the world we promised. Our window to act on climate change is like watching them grow up. We blink and we miss it.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason. Thank you.
A place to make my own, a place that I call home, this place that I call home.
John Jacobson, Ryan Iverson. We are back at St. Michael-Albertville High School, Week 3 high school football. And tonight on CCX, it is STMA scoring on the last play of the first half. They go up on Wayzata 14-7.
You know what I figured? You love to do this to me, to interview halftime when one coach you know is going to not be happy, right? You know,
I dial up the big play.
Every time Allie's here, you know, it's a nice, easy transition. Both coaches are happy at half. With me, it's always this bone-breaking play right before the halftime.
This goes back to our days when we first worked together on the Fox Sports Prep Zone a decade ago, right?
Every game
you'd go down. And somebody would score right before halftime.
We did one game, John. I believe it was a Wayzata Minnetonka game. It was 0-0. There was no offense. You send me down, and there was like a 90-yard touchdown pass every time. So I'm used to it. But pretty fun, entertaining game of football. What a great drive there at the end there by STMA. And now they get the ball too.
Yeah, and after getting 2 drives to end the half that ended scores, and getting another shot at it here. Stevie to kick off. Line driver, and they go over Longman's head.
Well, and this is the situation where if you're going to have a good season, you got to put teams away, and you got a 1-score lead right now. If they can drive, you know, sustain a 4 or 5 minute drive, put another touchdown, and get a 2-score lead. That the way their defense has been holding up, that's you got to feel pretty comfortable. So I think this drive really will kind of tell us the tale here of the second half.
Colton Damaris, last guy in the huddle.
Playing with a ton of confidence too. Really threw the football well.
11 of 15 passing in the first half for 128 yards and a touchdown. A toss on first down and a loss back at the 15-yard line. Great penetration into the backfield by Adam Cherney. Drops Brett Ruse for a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, and you saw Lower Weaver too. Great push. Just nowhere to go on the outside. That's how you want to start the game or the half defensively. And you can tell Coach Essler at halftime too, John. He said we got to use the pass. We got to set up the run. You know, STMA wants to be able to effectively be able to run the football.
They had the one good run by Longvin, but not a lot going on the ground in the first half. Other than that, let's see if they can do it here. Longvin gets the carry, and it's out past the 20, so they get the yardage loss plus about 3 or 4 more. Before the tackle was made by Richlick.
Yeah, and I like those plays. That time you saw a draw. Good timing. You get the defensive line kind of over pursue. Everyone else maybe drops back a couple of yards. And STMA also ran a nice screen in that first half. So kind of those timing plays like that, they've been effective for the Knights tonight.
Longman in the slot now, 3rd and 7. And Damaris steps up. He'll float a throw. It'll be a little too far and incomplete. Trying to hit Swinkiewicz. And it's 4th down. So a 3 and out for STMA on its first possession.
Yeah, and that's how big that first down, right? That loss of 4 or 5 yards on first down. You set up a 3rd and long. Here we have a flag too. Oh. Wow.
Hands to the face, 15-yarder, and so the drive stays alive for STMA.
Yeah, those are the kind of penalties, too, that can really change the outcome of a game. Instead of 3 and out, getting the ball back right away, now the drive continues. You get a second chance here if you're the Knights. That's a big play. I didn't see if it was on Damaris there at the end after the throw.
I believe so, yeah. So out to the 38 on 1st and 10. Damaris, play action, looking left. Now we'll go deep down the middle of the field and incomplete. Well covered by Hart. He was all over Swinkiewicz.
Well, if I'm Lambert Brown, I'm looking at two things, John. One, good coverage that time by the secondary, and specifically by Hart. Two, you can't allow a good, confident quarterback that much time. And Cole Damaris got back there, had a cup of coffee, got a snack. Look at the time, clean. Great job by that offensive line, but you got to get pressure. You remember this game started, Colton Damaris' first couple passes. Offense wasn't set there. But I think Wayzata's got to get back to bringing pressure.
Second down and 15 here for STMA after the false start.
You know, I go back, John, as a football fan. Do you remember when Kansas City played Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl and Mahomes had no time? As great as Mahomes is, he had no time, right. And you saw how normal he was. If you give a good quarterback time, they're going to be successful. And so I think Wayzata's got to figure out how they got to make Cole Damaris uncomfortable, not give him such a clean pocket.
Yeah, the one sack in the first quarter, but that's been it on him. Second down and long, been spinning out of a tackle and gets out back to the original line of scrimmage of probably a yard more. Pickup of 6, it'll be 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, great second effort there, spinning, churning, getting those extra yards. They matter. But here you are again, 3rd and long. It's exactly what Wayzata wanted to try to put the Knights into tonight. These kind of downs and distances. And if I'm Wayzata too, I'm keeping an eye on number 18, Swinkiewicz. He's been the go-to guy.
They give it to Ruse on 3rd down. He'll get 5 yards, but it'll be a good 4 yards short of the first down. So maybe trying to catch Wayzata running upfield aggressively at the quarterback, but enough guys stayed home and they make the tackle after a short gain. Alleman on the stop.
Are you surprised on that play call on 3rd and long? Just especially how well Damaris has been throwing the football. You know, if that's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, I could see that. But 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, surprised.
Punt will bounce at the 30 and be down at the 26 on Grove's 3rd punt of the day. Goes for 29 yards, but no return. And Wayzata, after giving up 1 first down on the penalty, will get the ball back. 26-yard line for their first possession of the second half.
Well, if you're a Trojan fan, your defense did exactly what you wanted. You got off the field. And now offense has to keep moving. Again, Coach Brown said it too. He's like, we moved the ball. We did what we wanted to on offense. You take away a couple of those turnovers, a 4th down stop the Knights got too, and Wayzata just got to finish the drives off.
Damaris trying to run, and he had nowhere to go around the left side, and he was brought down for a loss by Cowan Underwood. Loss of 2.
Yeah, and I don't think that was a designed quarterback run. I think Heilbrunn snap was a little bit to his left, and his momentum took him that way. You're going to see him, watch him have to go to the left here and realize timing was off. And even though that was a loss, he did a nice job at least getting as far forward as he could.
On 2nd and 12, it's Olsen who gets 2 yards back to the original line of scrimmage, but that's it before he's dropped there by Jackson Brutker, the junior linebacker, who's had a nice game.
He has a lot of good tackles, had that interception in the end zone. If he's able to get his hands on it, you can see he's a very sure tackler.
3rd and 10, Wayzata from their 26. Under 8 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, trailing 14-7. Heilbrunn rolls out, floats a pass right side and in and out of the hands of Leonard. Eli Leonard, first time he's been targeted tonight, not able to come up with the catch. That would have been a big gain into STMA territory.
Yeah, and he's been their leading receiver coming into the game. Nice little route here, a short route and a little bit deeper route. That pass in the hands should have been caught. That's one he knows he normally is going to make. That would have been a big third down conversion. You like the throw, though. That's an excellent throw under pressure on the run. Very accurate throw. I've been impressed with both quarterbacks tonight.
Andrew Westermeyer in to punt. First punt of the night for Wayzata, and gets a good kick away. Bobbled a little bit, but caught back at the 36. Breaking a tackle, 40-45. It's long been across midfield and into Wayzata territory. I thought he was going to drop it at first, and he's able to corral the ball. And Ryan picks up about 20 yards on that punt return.
Yeah, he did a great job of just refocusing, making sure he got control of it. Once he did, you can see how explosive Connor is if he gets that ball in his hands. He's just got that speed. Some people got that gear. Great job focusing, and then right there, guys look like they got an angle on him. He's able to get to the outside, and this is good speed. Ends up getting great field position for the Knights. This one is going to the left side here, John.
All right. Right at midfield. Well,
it was the middle.
Middle.
I was
they
Tony,
pick up 4.
I was Tony Romo in that one, yeah.
Right. It was worth a shot.
And the reason I say that is you can see the Knights, they run this unbalanced offensive line. You'll see there's only 2 players on the line of scrimmage on one side. There's an injury.
That was Brett Ruse, who was the ball carrier, and that picked up 4, and he limps to the sideline here.
I don't like it because I see that knee brace, and then you see him holding. You hope it's not a knee or anything serious.
2nd down and 6 from the Wayzata 46. They give to Kadia. And inside the 45 to the 43 before he's pushed back. Pickup of about 3 on the play.
Yeah, but this is Knights football right here. Now you're setting up that 3rd and short. And we've seen how effective Damaris is on those 3-step timing routes. So you kind of got everything in the playbook here when you get this down in distance.
Damaris back to the huddle. 3rd and 3 from the Wayzata 43. Quickly up to the line. Hand off, and it's going to be a first down. Inside the 40 to the 39. Sam Anderson, a sophomore running back. His 3rd carry tonight. He picks up 4.
Yeah, they go with a full backfield. And I'll tell you right there, nice job making the guy miss and keeping those legs moving, stretching forward.
Olam and Westermeyer on the tackle. We've got another injured player down for the Knights, one of their linemen. I think it's Sean Scripp might be the injured player here for the STMA.
Let's see if we can see number 60 there. Oh, yeah.
It's his left leg pinned under.
Oh. Those are the worst for the linemen because they can't see it coming, and all that weight comes in on the lower leg there. That's one of those you pray looks worse than it actually is, but those are, I hate seeing those.
Well, with the injury timeout, let's take a timeout here on the field. 6 minutes, 18 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. STMA up on Wayzata 14-7.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over.
Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How is it? Is it good?
What if you could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks? At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you. Get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
My kids put skis on as they were learning to walk. I want my kids to be able to have those moments with their kids. Being a scientist, I'm worried about climate change in so many different ways for my kids. From the second you have a child, you want to do everything to protect them. I think our action on climate change is no different. It's just an extension of being a mom.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Well, nice hand for starting right guard, senior Sean Scripp. And yeah, it did not look good, Ryan. You hope that's not a season-ending thing. It certainly, I'm sure, a game-ending thing tonight for Sean, but we hope the best for him. But yeah, I've already seen seniors this year injured and out for the year, and it doesn't matter what year you are. If you get something that could possibly end your season, it's just heartbreaking.
I get scared when you see the guys get rolled up there, but you love to see the teammates there supporting them, the crowds cheering for him, and I certainly hope for that young man that it looked worse than it actually is.
Well, the last play resulted in a first down, so 1st and 10 STMA from the Wayzata 39. Midway through the third quarter, Damaris throws on first down. It's a completion. The Longvin will pick up 7 yards. All on the stop along with Nelson.
Yeah, interesting that Longvin has that much cushion there. These 3-step timing routes specifically to the left side have been there all night long. And they're great plays on first down. You get 6 to 8 yards on first down, easy throw and catch. And Wayzata's got to change up, I think, how they're defending that. And you can do it one of two ways, with a little bit tighter coverage or a better pass rush.
2nd and 3, Longvin. Not sure who that was intended for, but it's incomplete. And I think fortunate it was incomplete. There are a lot of white shirts in the area.
Well, I love the concept. Again, they put Longvin, who's kind of the focal point of their offense, in a pre-snap motion, coming to the right. Ideally, you're going to have the defense flowing that way. Looked like they were going to maybe flare it out. Tried to hit something up the seam, but no one home. But when you get 7 yards on first down, you can take a chance like that on second down because you're still in third manageable here.
3rd and 3. It's Ruse, and he gets hit behind the line and dropped. No gain, perhaps a loss of 1.
Yeah, I think people were looking to see if there's a flag maybe because of the tackle up high, but great pursuit down the line by Kukowski there. That's how you finish a tackle. Looked like the momentum was there to go forward. Looked like he might get that first down. You could see him definitely up high around the neck. A good team pursuit, and fourth in that zone there. Let's see all night long these quick little throws, especially to the left side. Keep your eye on that.
4th and 3 from the Wayzata 32.
1, 2, 3. There you go.
Damaris
Pressure.
Flushed out. Jump and throw.
Oh,
Swinkevich comes up with the grab inside the 20.
That's one of those where the wind gets knocked out of you. You land on the ball. What a catch. What a great athletic catch by Swinkevich there. I thought Wayzata did a much better job. They got pressure here. You can see Colton Damaris under pressure. Bought a little bit of extra time, and I'll tell you what, I love that. Give your best playmaker a chance to make a play. You throw it up. Trust in your receiver.
Watch his head bounce here, too, at the end. Yeah, maybe shoulders, but yeah, between that, and he was definitely a little shaken up and still down.
Yeah, and sometimes, too, you land like that. You get the wind knocked out of you. You certainly hope he's going to be okay. Good to see him getting up, but he's had a heck of a game. And at 6'4", great height. It's a great luxury for a quarterback when they trust you to just go make a play like that. You know, for years the Vikings had a guy named Randy Moss, right? You threw it up and just go make a play. And that's evolution for Colton Damaris this year as he's gotten more and more comfortable throwing that up, giving a guy a chance to make a play.
Looks like he'll be okay. 7 catches for 78 yards versus Swinkevich and a big 4th down conversion. Back to the run game, inside handoff, and a gain of maybe 2 yards at the most, down to the 15 to Longden. His 9th carry tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, they've had some success running the football, and I know that's what Coach Essler really wants their identity to be, but if they continue and they win this game, it's going to be because of how they've thrown the football tonight. All their big plays have come throwing the football.
3:40 to play in the third. STMA driving, trying to get up by 2 scores here. 2nd and 9, a big hole up the middle, and it's Anderson running it down to the 11. Wayzata closing quickly at the end. Richlick and Nelson on the stop after a pickup of 6.
Yeah, they went 2 wide receivers out left, kind of spread that defense out, well blocked up front. Great push by that offensive line. Anderson picks up a nice gain there. Again, setting that third and short up. They go that loaded backfield.
3rd down and 3. It's Longben's got a first down. It'll be 1st and goal. Down to the Wayzata 5.
If I'm Wayzata, John, and I see that 3rd and short and that loaded backfield, I'm bringing both of my safeties up on the line of scrimmage because we haven't seen the Knights throw out of that formation. Again, a nice execution here on this drive. A couple of 3rd down conversions and 4th down conversion. Nice job sustaining drives. Here's that full backfield again. They've been running to the strong side.
Give us to Longben again. And he'll fight his way down to about the 3 and 2 before Ullum pulls him back. Forward progress will mark the ball inside the 2. 2nd and goal. This would be big for STMA if they can go up 2 touchdowns here with under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Well, if you go up 2 scores, you force Wayzata maybe to become a little more one-dimensional throwing the football. Let's see if they continue running to the right side here behind that power formation.
And this time it's the quarterback Damaris pushing behind his line to the end zone.
It looks like he got in. He's about 3 feet in.
Touchdown.
Well, and I like that call, too, the simplicity of it. Colton Damaris, a big kid at 6'5". You know, definitely over 200 pounds. You just use that power and push. Get into the end zone, and that's a great drive by the Knights.
His first rush tonight, and his first touchdown run of the season.
Well, he's had himself a heck of a ball game tonight, John. Really accurate with the football. That big play before half, converting some nice third down throws, and that time calls his own number, caps off a really nice drive.
Well, if Timlin was hurt, he's back now. He's back on, and he kicks the extra point.
Makes me think those were designed two-point conversions, you know.
Offensive line on that drive. Mason Zimmer, Spencer Hansen, Joe Dewar.
The public address announcer here giving a little shout out to the offensive linemen, and they have really played well since that first drive tonight where they didn't get much the first couple drives. They've kind of pushed Wayzata around a little bit, given Damaris a very comfortable pocket when he's passed for the most part, and allowed Longben and Kadia, and at the end there, Damaris to get some positive runs.
Enough running, right, to keep it honest. And I tell you, one of the other adjustments I liked is the Knights went to a three-step drop. Remember those first couple of dropbacks? Damaris had the ball for a little bit too long, got sacked. They went to these three-step drops with these quick outs, these timing passes to the outside, and it got Colton Damaris into a rhythm, gave the offensive line confidence, and they've really kind of just kept it going ever since.
Timlin on the kickoff. Leonard handles it at the 5. 20-yard line. Will Green on the right side, back up the middle, and gets it across the 30. And a kick return of 25 yards for the senior Eli Leonard. So Wayzata with some work to do now, down 14 points. 1:23 to play in the third quarter.
Well, you remember the first quarter, John, you made a comment about how many plays Wayzata had ran compared to the Knights here, and this third quarter has kind of been a tale of two different stories. STMA really dominating time of possession. Still plenty of time left, but you need a big drive here if you're the Trojans.
Cole Helbrun from just past his 30, a throw, and ball is tipped and almost intercepted. Intended receiver was Griffith, and then a couple of STMA guys with a shot at it. Josh Segler, along with Caden Johnson.
Yeah, great defense by Segler. Watch him tip. This is a drill you run and practice all the time. You tip it. Great effort there by Johnson. Almost fully extended, almost got it. Caden Johnson's dad, Mark Johnson, was a guy in my class, a very good football player from Hastings. He was an all-metro performer. So very, very good good genes there.
Deanna Lovelace, first carry here in the second half, gains 3 yards, set up third down and 7. Lovelace 5 carries, 23 yards tonight.
Well, I think, John, Wayzata's still enough time where they don't have to become one-dimensional and throw the football. They can still run the rock, power the rock. You got to have a nice little balance here. You don't want to go 3 and out here and give the ball back to an offense that's in a good rhythm.
On third down, they do run the ball again. Does that surprise you a little bit on the call there? They're on third and fairly long.
Not if Coach Brown says this is 4-down territory.
Right.
You know, maybe it's a smart play. Then you get half of it now, and it looks like
it is.
Yep. Well, with only 20 seconds left, they don't have to run a play here before the end of the third quarter.
It'll be 4th down and 2. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. They'll have a little more time to think about it here.
Well, it looks like they're see if they try to get the Knights to jump off sides. Maybe not going to snap it. Yeah, going to let the clock go.
3 quarters in the books here at STMA. The Knights tack on another score there in the third quarter. At the end of 3, St. Michael-Albertville 21, Wayzata 7. STMA, 4 fingers raised for the fourth quarter. 21-7, Knights leading the Trojans here. 12 minutes to play, and Wayzata's got a 4th down and 2 to start the fourth quarter. Ryan, a man of the people, talking with the crowd here. I love it. But he saw Caden Johnson's dad, right?
Yeah, they were knocking on the door. Like, did you see? He almost had that interception. I said if his dad had better hands, he would have caught it.
Well, Wayzata will punt after all of that. They decide not to go for it here. On 4th down, the low snap, but Westermeyer able to pick it up and gets the kick away. And Knights are just going to let it go. And it'll be down at the 25-yard line. And now here a chance for STMA, Ryan. Even if you don't score on this drive, you can get a couple, 3, 4 first downs. You really make it difficult on Wayzata.
Yeah, and at this point too, you want to run that play clock down to 2 or 3 seconds. And the way the Knights defense has played here, really the last 2 quarters, absolutely, you want to take care of the football. The other thing you do, though, you don't want to get too conservative, right? Colt Damaris, as accurate as he's been, I continue to throw quick throws to the outside, and they've been really successful doing that. You see Longvan here to the left. Look at the cushion there and see if they got that little 3-step drop if they want it.
There's a lofted up right side and incomplete. Boutwell on the coverage. Swinkevich, who saw shaking up on that last series, okay, and he's back in with incomplete there.
And I'm okay with that. That was a good miss. If you're going to miss that throw, you want to miss it long, high, and to the outside, where either your guy is going to catch it or it's going to be incomplete. The last thing you want right now is a turnover on a short field. All the momentum on the Knights side here. You don't want to do anything to jeopardize that.
2nd down and 10. Give it to Anderson. And he is going to be turned backwards after getting only about 2 yards. A 3rd down and 8. Ronning among those on the stop for Wayzata.
Leading tackle made by number 56, Will Ronning. Also in there was number 98, Dylan Schultz.
3rd down and 7.
Gain of 3. 3rd and 7.
Big play here for the Wayzata defense. Got to get a stop, get that ball back, hopefully get good field position too.
And the give, and
nothing.
Big loss. Forward progress will get him maybe to the line of scrimmage. I don't think even that. Maybe another injury.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that counter, other than the 2-point conversion when they got it, there has not been a lot there.
Long bit, and his leg a little bit like extended as he was being pulled one way, and at the other end, Watkins is pulling him back the other way.
Oh, gosh.
And you hope that's just like a extension or something that's really painful sprain. But sometimes you know it too, right? As a player, it's something serious, and you hope that's not it for Longben, because he is a terrific ball player.
Well, you get worried. We saw earlier the injury. When someone gets rolled up on your leg, that time it looked like they had a hold of his leg and his body maybe going a different direction. You just hope nothing, to your point, any bad extension or. I'll tell you, sometimes it's an ankle that feels terrible, but it's not that severe there. It looks like they're stretching
or a cramp or something, maybe.
You certainly, not that cramps are fun, but you definitely want cramps instead of something to your knee or your ankle. So this could be a good thing for him and for the STMA fans. Well, great story. Yeah, for people that have never had cramps, I in all my years of high school, college, and professional playing, I never had a cramp, John. I had a pretty devastating leg injury when I was playing professionally, had surgery, and anyways, since then, I get calf cramps and foot cramps at night sometimes, and they are awful. It is one of the most extreme levels of pain, and usually they dissipate relatively quickly, but it can be an awful feeling, but you certainly love to see that as opposed to something structurally.
Here's what's coming up on CCX in the next week. Tomorrow afternoon, District 281 rivals Cooper and Armstrong kick off at 1:30 at Armstrong High School. I'll be live on CCX. Volleyball coming up next week. Champlin Park visiting Maple Grove on Monday. Park Center Totino Grace on Wednesday in volleyball. And then next Friday, Osseo hosting Stillwater. Well, Longden gets up and he walks off under his own power. So it might be just a bad cramp. But, man, it did not look good there for a second, did it? So good. Well, hopefully good news right
volleyball,
there.
Is Wayzata the power still?
Still number one. Well, we're number one. Lost in the tournament to Northfield over the weekend. But I would guess still the favorite to win Class 4A this year. We saw them early in the season. We'll see them again middle of the week after next at Champlin Park in a battle of top 10 teams.
Yeah.
Fair catch there. And so I think the decision by Lambert Brown to punt at the beginning of the quarter here was the right one. It worked out, to get the ball back, and only a minute 19 off the clock from instead of giving the ball, if he had not made that fourth down inside your 40, now you get it back at your 40. And
remember, too, there incompletion and then the injury to stop the clock there. So they were aided by that. And you're right, the defense did their job. This offense just has to get going here.
Damaris will hand off on first down. This is Olson carrying out to the 48-yard line. And a good pickup of 7 yards. And his 19th carry of the night. He's got 82 yards unofficially in the touchdown.
Yeah, been really successful here tonight. And still enough time where they can do that, John. They don't have to go to taking chances through the air. They can still have good balance.
Give it to him again. He's into Knight's territory, and he's got a first down.
Nice tackle that time by Landon Rebo, number 87. If he doesn't hold on there, Olson may be able to get to that second level and turn that into a big play. But good little rhythm here by the offensive line. Nice push. Picking up a first down. Wayzata got to get on the board here to get to one score.
2 rushes, 14 yards for Olson, but not this time. And he stopped and dropped for a loss. Devin Damer, junior, in on the stop.
Yeah, he's solid looking, isn't he?
He is.
Not very tall, 5'7", but 210 pounds, and not want to get a wrestling match with him. You're not going to win that one too often.
Damaris throwing a little bit off his back foot and almost intercepted. Had a little trouble with the snap was a little bit off, and that kind of threw off his whole timing, it seemed like, and almost intercepted there by Johnson on the pass intended for Griffith.
Well, and again, Sigler with that great coverage. Look at him, just great coverage, and I love that he gets his head around, makes a play on the ball, and they got that tip drill down. Caden Johnson again flying in there almost with another pick. And you got to think now, too, with being on the other side of the field, you're in 4-down territory here. So you wonder if you're not going to, you don't got to pick it all up here.
Oh, and it is intercepted. No, we're going to say incomplete. It was almost the second pick of the night for Saltamacchia, but it goes as incomplete.
Yeah, that's a little rollout right here. Yeah, I don't know if he
different call.
Overthrew that or underthrew it. It was kind of, he had 2 different receivers, one short, one long, and it kind of split the difference there. Interesting. I thought maybe they were going to run that ball, try to get 5 or 6 yards and set up a more manageable 4th down here.
No passing yards for Wayzata in the second half. 93 in the first half.
Yeah, the Knights have done a nice job in the secondary. No blown coverages. There's a timeout for Wayzata. That's a good timeout. I know you don't want to use one, but this is a big play. You want to make sure you got the right call into the game here.
On a 4th down and 10 coming. 9:13 to play in the 4th quarter. Ryan, Gopher football Saturday afternoon, home against Colorado. Good start for Minnesota so far.
It is, but how many years are they 4-0? And this is the best team ever, and then we lose to Indiana, or you know what I mean?
Not losing to Indiana.
I gotta see it to believe it, and not that I'm not positive, but
you didn't sound very positive.
Well, it just frustrates me. I don't like these easy pancake non-conference games. Colorado is terrible. Colorado might be one of the worst major 5 teams in the country. So they're going to win 50-0 this week, and everyone's going to say it's the best team ever. I need to see it in the Big Ten, John.
Well, then they'll get a test next week at East Lansing at Michigan State. So they punt on 4th down. Fair catch, and STMA will have it. And there's Longman back in the game. Great to see Ryan on the punt fair catch.
Yeah, and I actually agree with that call. 4th and 10 like that. I think had they run it or they gotten 7-8 yards, they definitely would have gone for it. But punt it. Now you got to trust your defense again to get a quick stop, get the ball back, hopefully have a short field. They got to figure out something offensively, Wayzata does, if they're going to get back into this game.
And they've not turned over STMA all night. They could use one here. First time run in the open. It's Anderson, Sam Anderson. Is going to go for a touchdown. 90 yards for the score.
Oh, there's 2 flags. One's going to be for spiking, and one is back on the sideline, back at the 40-yard line.
Well, I'm guessing they're both obviously on the offense, going over to talk to Coach Brown.
One thing could be if guys on the sideline were out on the field, it's a warning, right? So that's a question. Or was there a hold or a clip or something?
Yep. Touchdown stands, though, which is the important thing. So the 90-yard run stands. It is. Good call, Coach. The sideline warning, which doesn't draw a penalty in the first instance.
No, but you get worried when you see that flag. Sometimes it's a hold or a clip on the backside, but luckily for Anderson, it wasn't. And great call. Again, they went unbalanced. They overloaded the left side, and Sam Anderson hit that hole, and he cut back really nicely. Longer extra point,
with a long extra point, but boots it through.
Looked like Chip Lohmiller there. Tell me I'm not a Gopher fan.
I didn't say you weren't a Gopher fan. I love Chip Lohmiller.
Those are great runs, though. You get through, everyone was kind of loading the box there. You can see, look at all the blue jerseys here. Right there, the cutback. And that's the best feeling, isn't it? When you're a running back and you break through that first level and there you don't see a safety or a defensive back. It's a great feeling. Sam, only a sophomore, too.
Isn't that really unsportsmanlike conduct, though, for spiking the football like that?
Your first touchdown, you're excited. Heck yeah.
If you threw it at the opponent, I get it, but I don't know.
Well, the great Bud Grant. You remember Bud Grant, right?
Act like you've been there before.
Well, I caught a touchdown, and this was in the state tournament, not the prep bowl, but it was the semifinals, and I threw the football at the wall, the wall that they had, because it was a pretty big play. And I remember Bud with his big hands grabbed my neck, and he said, "You act like you've been there before." And I never forgot that.
Bud or Mike?
That was Bud.
Bud Grant, yeah.
Mike didn't care.
His dad cared. That's funny.
But I'll never forget that. He's big mitts that he had. He goes, "You act like you've been there." And I was like, "Yes, sir." I was ashamed of myself, but I understand that excitement. Your first varsity touchdown, big 90 play, 90-yard run. That's exactly what the Knights needed here.
What a performance by St. Michael-Albertville tonight. really on both sides. They played two decent teams to start the season. Forest Lake and Centennial. Lost them both. They get their first home game here. Slow start to the game, but ever since then, it looks pretty good, right? Now they're up 3 scores. Throw out of the backfield. Loveless to the 30-yard line, and they'll bring it out to the 34. A good job on the first play of this drive as Helbrin bought himself a little extra time and gets the completion. First one in the second half.
Well, let's see if Wayzata plays a little bit more loose now, right, on offense. Sometimes when you're down, 3 scores, the pressure kind of comes off. It really, you're always trying to build for the next game and later on in the season. Let's see if Wayzata can just build some confidence.
Helbrin throws over the middle. Completion. Leonard out to the 48-yard line. Pickup of 13. So back-to-back completions for Wayzata.
Yeah, and Helbrin, he's got a nice arm. He's got that nice little sidearm off of the play action. You can tell he's definitely got a strong arm. You got to remember, too, he's getting his, this is only his second start, so he's still getting comfortable, getting his feet wet as well.
Big hole for Loveless up the middle, and he's into the backfield. Into the secondary, and then he falls down at the 30 after he picks up 22 yards.
Nice push up front. Loveless has been really, if I look at how hard he hit that hole, and just get those legs moving, and sometimes you just get excited, right? You just keep going. Momentum kind of carried him forward.
Down to the 30-yard line in 3 plays. Helbrin firing into the tight window and incomplete, trying to hit Leonard.
Yeah. Those are the scary throws, right? Middle of the field, you see about 6 jerseys in there.
Clock stopping with 8:07 to go. Roll out and whistle. Yeah, a penalty. False start. Back to the 35-yard line. Second down and 15 here for Wayzata. Trailing by 3 touchdowns and just over 8 minutes to play.
Yeah, you need a quick score. If you are going to get back into this game, you got to have a quick strike.
Helbrin throws, completion. Griffith, 25-yard line, and dragged down from behind at the 21. Tackle by Johnson. Gain of 14.
Getting that quick sidearm throw. Very accurate that way as well.
Give it to Olson. He's got a first down inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. Gain of 3. Clock will stop to move the chains. Wayzata will get back up to the line of scrimmage here. So we wind down toward 7.5 minutes to play. Helbrin gives to Olson again, gets a little space on the outside, and then it's shut down quickly. And a gain of only about 3 yards for the tackle made by Segler.
Yeah, Loveless did a nice job bouncing this outside. Looked like he might have some daylight. Look at him right there, make that decision. And again, I'll tell you, I've been really impressed with Segler tonight. We've seen him come, make some great plays in the secondary, and that time coming up making a great tackle.
Helbrin with the catch, and it's going to be a touchdown.
Great cut.
13-yard touchdown pass.
Tyler Milkus on the receiving end, a 13-yard touchdown. And Wayzata is on the board here in the second half.
Yep, exactly what they needed. Still plenty of time left in this game, John. If their defense can get a quick stop, now you got a little bit of momentum, some confidence on that offense.
Stevie for the extra point. Up and through. 6:52 to go in the ball game, and now 28-14.
His holder,
Play action. Look at them blocking down the field, and right there was the cut. Yep. That's what you got to do. You got to make that one guy that maybe isn't blocked, isn't accounted for. You got to make that guy miss. And a great cut there, just a little inside out cut, able to make a miss and into the end zone.
And he gets good blocks, as you mentioned, from his fellow wide receivers, both Griffith and Leonard, sealing off their men.
The last 2 years, we've seen Drew Berkland, right, get those kind of balls and do exactly that, turn 5-yard throws into 20, 25-yard touchdowns. Wayzata always with good athletes on the perimeter there. And if you got good receivers that can block down the field like that, that's a tough play to defend, especially in high school. You see, STMA is preparing for an onside kick. You wonder if Wayzata is going to resort to that already or boot it down and just play field position, trust your defense to try to get a stop.
Another score tonight from the area. 4th-ranked Maple Grove leading at Minnetonka 34-13.
Ooh, that's a big statement win on the road.
Well, 1 quarter to go, but yes, up by 3 scores right now. They go for the onside kick, and the hands team on the field for STMA, and they make the recovery. Brody Odlin, who caught that touchdown pass at the end of the first half on the recovery.
And those are hard. When that ball's coming at you like that off the turf, not an easy catch. There's a reason they call it the hands team. You put your guys with the best hands out there. That was a nice job recovering that. Oh,
nice. Yep. Oh, going to get flagged here.
False start. I think that Spencer Hansen, number 52, jumped a little bit early.
Now back to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, you're going to see a left guard, Hansen. Look at that, just a split second. It's usually when you got to pull, right? Because you know you got to haul your butt down the line. You got to get there quick, and so that's sometimes when you get those false starts.
Longman gets the carry. Gets hit hard by Westermeyer and stopped after a short gain.
Yeah, you feel like Wayzata just flying to the ball here a little bit more urgency. Remember, if they can get this ball, if they can get the ball back, offense didn't take more than a minute the last time to go down the field. This is one of those drives that if you can put, you don't necessarily have to score, but if you can take 3 minutes, 3.5, 4 minutes off the clock, you can put this game away.
Damaris looking back at the play clock, too, at the scoreboard behind him for getting up under center. He will throw on second down and almost intercepted. That was close to a pick by Kukowski, the linebacker.
Yeah, one of the few throws tonight where we've seen down the middle of the field. Kukowski did a great job of stepping in that passing lane. That's one of those you got to have, right? With down 2 scores on the road. I think he almost was surprised that the ball came. You know, and that's what you're taught as a linebacker. You read pass, you got to get depth and get in that passing lane. He did a nice job of getting there. Just couldn't hang on to it, but it did stop the clock, and now you're in 3rd and long.
Go back to the ground game, and it's Anderson with the 90-yard touchdown run a moment ago, getting it down to the 46. It'd be short of the first down, though, by about 1.5 yards. And it looks like STMA, and that's the right decision here, up 2 scores. I think. Well, I was going to say they're about to punt, but maybe not. Just change them. They're going to perhaps go for it, bring in their big backfield again. Look at that run.
Yeah, good patience there. He kind of waited, let his lineman get in there, and then hit that hole hard. And he's running with a lot of confidence after that big touchdown run. That time got a big chunk of it back here on 3rd down.
Well, let's see if STMA actually goes for it. And they got exactly what they wanted. Wayzata a little Aggressive. They get the offside, and the Knights get a first down. And that, Ryan, might do it.
Well, I'm going to point to 2 plays here tonight. One is going to be this one. You're going to see you get a couple of guys on Wayzata jumping. That play, now you extend the drive. You don't get the ball back. And 2, the last play of the half, allowing the receiver to get deep and score. You could have given up a 40-yard pass and tackled him. It was the last play of the half. You let a guy get deep, and that score, all that momentum that went with it, those are 2 big plays.
Again, Damaris watching the play clock. He'll let it run down a little more. Toss goes, and this will be a big loss. Into the backfield in a hurry was Watkins to drop Brett Ruse. Loss of 6. Not what you want for STMA, but it's a running play, and the clock continues to run under 4:40 to go. Wayzata with 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, I think if STMA runs the ball here and you get a stop, you call a timeout. See 3 receivers. Swankevich down to our left side here, closest to us. See if they're going to keep it on the ground here.
Longben, and he'll get about 7 there. Get back to the 40-yard line. 14th carry from Longben. It's so good to see him back after, man, seemed like he
thought it was something bad. Yep. So, like I said, you're never been happier to see a bad cramp.
Right. 3rd down and 9 for STMA from the Wayzata 40. We're inside of 4 minutes to go.
Bringing some beef in. Got to imagine you're going to be running the football.
And
timeout.
STMA will use its first timeout here.
I'm surprised Coach Brown didn't take a timeout there earlier, before the 30 seconds had ran off.
Well, this will be a big win for STMA, Ryan. If they can get to 1-2 here, give you a little confidence going into a Week 4 game at Blaine.
Well, and I'll tell you what, too, John. Wayzata 1-1, maybe not the dominant power that they've been the last few years, but you still beat Wayzata. That still carries some cachet. And so these kids, the confidence you're going to get, not only beating Wayzata, but doing it the way they did tonight, too. And I'm a big believer that you a lot of times you can only go as far as your quarterback, and I think Colton Damaris, I've been really impressed with how he's thrown the ball tonight, the confidence he's had, and their balance, being able to throw and run. Been really impressive.
Third down and 9 to go. Maris with the give. It's Anderson. He'll get down to the 35-yard line. They'll bring up 4th down. 6 to go.
Let's see if they go back to trying to draw Wayzata offsides again. If not, you snap the ball with 1 second left, or you take a timeout with 1 second left, or you take the penalty and punt it anyways.
Right. Under 3 minutes to go, a 4th down and 5 for the Knights from the 36 of Wayzata to get up to the line in a hurry. Ooh, almost had it. And they will take the timeout and presumably punt now on 4th down. Nice game for Coach Essler's boys tonight, right?
Yeah, exactly what they wanted, right? You know, I think you look at their first 2 games, lost to Forest Lake, lost to Centennial, who both are decent teams, but not state powers, but they were on the road. And I think when you got new kids playing big positions, it just takes a couple of games to get used to the speed and the feeling. You know, playing under the lights in front of a big crowd, it's something you can't practice for, you can't prepare for. So it takes you a little bit to get comfortable. When you got a young team, you know, we always talk about it too, John, the goal is to be playing your best at the end of the year. So if you start 0-2 and you start gradually getting better and better and better and more confident, you know, that's what it's all about. You want to be playing your best football towards the end of the year. But this is a big win for them to be able to build on.
Eden Prairie up on Lakeville South, 21-6 in the fourth quarter.
I'm not surprised. I think Eden Prairie might be the most complete team. And I'm not saying that because I went there.
How about that punt? How about that punt?
It's funny how when things are going good, everything goes good. You get those rolls, those bounces, and you can't ask for a better special teams play than that, pinning them down to their half-yard line. Yeah, you look at, you know, a couple other big plays tonight that I think you forget about that interception, right, in the end zone that STMA got.
Right.
Was that a drive, you know, really nice drive? They looked pretty dominant offensively that first quarter. Was about to punch it in. They get that tip, get the pick, and then they go and score and kind of never looked back after that.
Trojans need Tony Dorsett on the field to run for 99 here, right?
It was a Monday Night Football game, right?
Against the Vikings at the Metrodome, yeah. 28-14, 2:29 to go. Wayzata back at their 1. Elburn throwing out of his end zone, gets the completion to the sideline, and Leonard's will get it 9 yards to the 10. Just his second catch tonight.
Yeah, Leonard, not a big night. Really, it's been Ford Griffith tonight in the receiving game.
Elburn looking left, fires. Nice strike to Leonard. Gain of 19 out to the 29. That throw was on the money and had a lot of mustard on it.
And it was a long throw, right?
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily distance, but he had to go all the way across the field. And you got to be, if you're a Wayzata fan, you got to love his arm strength. And pretty accurate too tonight. That interception at the goal line, I don't think was his fault. I think he put that one on the money. He threw it into traffic, got some mustard on it, and he delivered it. It just got tipped. But I've been really impressed with his arm strength.
He'll throw here to Olsen, who went in motion, and he gets spun down after a gain of just 2. Tackle made by Brutker.
Yeah, Brutker has been all over the field tonight for STMA. Playing that middle linebacker, the big interception, running side to side, made plays against the passing game, running game. He's been great.
Elbrun rolls out, throws, completion, first down, out to the 40-yard line. It's Milkus who gets out of bounds.
And if you're STMA, you're fine with this, right? You see they're doing a nice job of staying deep. They don't want to let anyone behind them. You can come up and make tackles on these shorter passes, take time off the clock. You just don't want to give up that big explosive play.
Oh, that was tipped and almost intercepted. Now they go to the sideline. Was that a lateral or a forward pass? That was the reason for the pursuit at the end of the play by Saltamachia.
He's throwing right from about the 35. Yeah, I think that was a backward pass, wasn't it? Yeah, they're going to mark it back. I agree with that. Could see who got.
So it goes as a loss of 10.
Yeah, Landon Rebo, the defensive end, did a great job of recognizing that and getting his hands up. What was the score, John, when we did STMA Maple Grove? Maple Grove had that great comeback. Was it 28-14 with a minute left? Something, right?
28. I should know.
28-7 or so. It was something.
28. They were down
3 scores.
Yeah, 18 points. Well, you think I should remember that, right?
Oh.
SDMA
still one of the
not forgotten.
Has to be one of the most amazing couple of minutes of football on any level that I've ever seen or been a part of.
2 successful onside kicks, whether or not they were completely illegal, still up to debate. But yeah, what a great day for Maple Grove football. The Maple Grove Miracle, they call it.
Yeah.
Had the season end a week later against Eden Prairie, a terrific team that year. Not surprising. We have 4th down and 5 after that completion. Charlie Tomczyk on the catch. Elbrin throwing, gets the ball completed out to midfield. Milkus with the catch. Is he going to be at see the forward progress? They're going to give him the first down.
Yeah, tough catch too in traffic. Nice, great job by Heilbronn that time, just buying time, staying in the pocket, delivering a strike.
So they come back from the 2nd and long and get a first down and keep it going here. Elbrin fires over the middle. Ball is caught at the 40-yard line. No, incomplete. Griffith thought he had it. It was close, and they ruled it incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Clock stops with 1:09 to go.
Ooh. Couldn't quite tell. It looked like he might have grabbed that, John.
Second down from the 49. Helbrin, throw, completion. Little room for Milkus. First down and more. He's down the sideline. Milkus inside the 10 and spun out of bounds at the 4. We're not done yet, Ryan. Nope. We're not done yet.
Did we jinx it? Yeah, nice easy throw and great job. Good blocking down the field. Milkus has had himself a nice game as well.
Stepped out of bounds further upfield, though, so didn't get up as close as we thought to the goal line. He stepped out at the 23. Still a pickup of 27. Helbrin, roll out right. He'll throw to the end zone. The winner, too, couldn't quite come up with that. Would have been a heck of a catch.
It would have been a great catch. That was a heck of a throw, too, on the run. And he put it right on the money where only Leonard could get this one. He can't throw it any better than that. That would have been a heck of a catch, but great throw. I've been really impressed, really, with both quarterbacks tonight.
Throw and catch at the first down sticks to Griffith. First down, 10-yard gain, exactly 10 on the play. 48 seconds to go. Wayzata at the 13. And he got out of bounds, so that stops the clock. Helbrin looking to the end zone again and gets the completion this time. It'll be 1st and goal at the 1. Milkus on the catch, a gain of 12.
That's a hard throw, but that's a really hard catch. Watch Milkus go low. When you're running full speed to kind of go low like that and pick it off your shoes, that is a great, great catch. If he could have just leaned forward, I think he,
Ball is fumbled at the 2. SDMA believes they have it. Second down. But the clock keeps running, Ryan, down to 25 seconds. And now Wayzata's got to use a timeout. Loss of 1, and they're back to the 2 on 2nd and goal.
Yep. Well, obviously the clock is the key right now. You got to score there. You can see just never quite had it. It looked like STMA had three guys on it. I don't know
I don't know how they.
Yeah,
but there you see, Olsen's got the football in his hand.
They're all looking down there. He's like, "It's right here, you guys." You got all the all the knights are pointing this way, and Olsen's like, "No, it's right here."
Second down and goal. Wayzata with one timeout remaining. But they need a touchdown here, an onside kick to have a shot.
You definitely just jinxed it.
Elbrun will give. Olsen in for the touchdown.
Well, either way, I think Coach Lambert Brown's got to be happy. His guys didn't quit tonight. They didn't stop fighting. They down 3 scores. They've just crept back. Offense is kept in it. And you got a chance here. Obviously, not a big chance, but you still got a chance.
Stevie's extra point.
Yeah. Nice job by the holder there to get that down. Low snap, able to get it up quickly.
Look at the touchdown again.
Yeah, nice job up front. Really well blocked. Carter Olsen's a heck of a running back too, isn't he? He's had a nice game.
92 yards on 24 carries, a couple touchdowns for Olsen.
Well, and this is one of those things, John. You work on, or at least we in high school and college, we always worked it on Thursdays. You worked on hands team and kicking onside kicks. And you always kind of like, why do we practice this so much? Well, this is why, because it can decide games. These are big plays.
Stevie's kick will bounce to the 49 and be handled by STMA. Swinkevich on the recovery, and that'll do it.
And sometimes it just comes down to when that ball takes that bounce. It was kicked into the ground pretty nicely, but it never took that high bounce. You want to get that high bounce to give your gunners a chance to get down there. Nice job by Swinkevich to just recover it and get down. Now all the Knights have to do is take a knee.
Longbin will set up well behind the line of scrimmage. Guard against a possible fumble, but that's not going to happen. Taking a knee is Damaris. Looks like Wayzata has used their last time out. They do. So Damaris will presumably do that one more time, and all you need is a clean snap for STMA, and that's it. There we go. So a couple of late scores for Wayzata makes it interesting, but STMA with the big score right before halftime. The touchdown, the only touchdown of the third quarter, the long run by Anderson. And they get the win here at home. Nice win in their first home game of the season, 28-21.
Yeah, great game, fun game, entertaining game, both sides. A couple of really big plays that changed the momentum. The interception in the end zone, the touchdown right before half. And some big plays in the second half too. And we certainly hope that young man there is okay. Yeah. We saw him get injured. You see the youth football. That looked, I've seen you do a couple of those flips before, John. There's that play at halftime that was absolutely huge.
Well, that will do it for our coverage tonight. Next Friday night, Stillwater, Osseo, and Saturday afternoon. Tomorrow, tune in for Cooper at Armstrong. For Ryan Iverson and all of our crew, I'm John Jacobson. Final score again tonight from St. Michael. It's STMA over Wayzata, 28-21.